Casio. Would you rather have a calculator or
In
a watch?
1957, Casio Computer Company developed the Casio 4.
Casio, watches that do more than keep time. They keep you ahead of your time.
What is digital?
Digital is Casio!
Yeah, the architect behind everyday genius, from math exams to moon missions. Think of the year as 1946. A group of engineers hunches over a massive machine the size of a desk, whirring gears, flashing vacuum tubes, endless punch cards. To perform a single complex calculation, they feed in data manually and wait. Minutes pass. One wrong input, and hours of work are wasted. This was the reality of computing before the modern calculator. A student, half asleep in class, punches a few buttons on a sleek digital calculator. Within seconds, an answer appears, accurate to the decimal point. It's effortless, instant. He barely thinks about how this tiny device came to exist. But the truth is, behind that little machine is a story of innovation, competition, and a company that changed everything: Casio. The story of Casio isn't just about numbers, it's about how one company changed the world, one calculation at a time. Casio's story begins in 1946 in post-war Japan.
Transportation facilities are jammed with people buying tickets for country areas where they can purchase food. The Japs have their housing problem.
The country was rebuilding, and four brothers, Tadao, Toshio, Kazuo, and Yukio Casio, saw an opportunity. Initially, Casio wasn't in the business of calculators. Their first invention was a cigarette holder called the Yubiwa pipe, designed to let smokers keep their hands free while working. Japan was impoverished immediately following World War II, so cigarettes were valuable, and the invention was a success. After seeing the electric calculators at the first business show in Ginza, Tokyo in 1949, Casio and his younger brothers used their profits from the Yubiwa pipe to develop their calculators. Toshio Casio, the engineer of the family, had been fascinated by early mechanical calculators. At the time, most calculations were done manually or with bulky, unreliable machines. In 1957, the Casio brothers introduced Japan's first electromechanical calculator, the Casio 14A. Unlike its competitors, the 14A was compact, fully electric, and easy to use. One of the central and more important innovations of the calculator was its adoption of the 10-key number pad. At that time, other calculators were using a full keypad. Casio Computer Company Limited was formed in June 1957. The 1960s and 70s saw an explosion in calculator technology, and Casio was at the forefront. While companies like Sharp and Texas Instruments were developing their own devices, Casio had a unique approach. They wanted calculators to be affordable, portable, and multifunctional. At its peak, there were more than 50 manufacturers competing with each other. In August 1972, Casio released the Casio Mini, which was sold for the then revolutionary price of only 12,800 yen in order to be affordable to the general public. The Casio Mini was a huge hit, selling 1 million units in 10 months. This was the turning point. From here on, price competition among calculator makers reached a climax, with one company after another withdrawing from the market.
人々はオフィスの中で、機械、手で
In 1983, Casio developed the SL800, which at 0.8 millimeters was as thin as a credit card. This put an end to the smaller and thinner race. They introduced the first scientific calculator, the Casio FX10, in 1974, which included trigonometric functions, an essential tool for students and engineers. This was followed by the FX7000G, the world's first graphing calculator, in 1985. It had 422 bytes of programming memory, which allow users to display and analyze functions on a rectangular coordinate system. Casio continued to develop and improve graphing calculators, with later models like the FX-CG50. While calculators were a huge part of Casio's success, they didn't stop there. The year is 1974. Amid the wave of Japanese innovation, Casio unveils something unexpected: the Casiotron. It wasn't just a digital watch, it was the first in the world to feature a fully automated calendar. A watch that knew the date and adjusted itself, mind-blowing at the time. That same spirit of innovation exploded again in 1983 when Casio introduced the G-Shock, a watch designed to never break no matter what. Built with a triple-layer construction and shock-absorbing materials, it defied what a wristwatch could be. From skateboarders to soldiers, the G-Shock became a symbol of toughness. But Casio wasn't done. In the late 70s and early 80s, they stepped into music, launching affordable electronic keyboards like the iconic Casio Tone. It was a game changer. Suddenly, anyone could make music, kids, garage bands, aspiring producers, all without needing a grand piano or a full studio. Then came the QV-10, launched in 1995. It was one of the first consumer digital cameras with a built-in LCD screen. Before selfies and smartphone cameras were a thing, Casio made it possible for everyday users to take digital photos, preview them instantly, and store them without film. Casio calculators didn't just solve equations, they shaped culture. By the late 20th century, Casio devices had become a familiar sight, not just in classrooms but in music studios, on space missions, and even on movie screens. From Tokyo to New York, classrooms echoed with the quiet tapping of Casio keys. For millions of students, the FX82 wasn't just a calculator, it was a companion, a silent partner in exams, math drills, and late-night homework. And in the most unexpected places, space, Casio showed up again. NASA missions logged Casio calculators among their onboard tools, not because they were flashy, but because they worked. Even on Earth, engineers, architects, and scientists swore by Casio for its no-nonsense interface and rock-solid logic. Casio even found its way into pop culture. From retro-futuristic films to 8-bit video games, a Casio calculator meant brains, tech, and rebellion all at once. Despite the rise of smartphones and digital apps, Casio calculators remain relevant. Casio has also adapted to the digital age, introducing calculator apps, cloud-based functions, and AI-powered education tools. They continue to innovate while staying true to their core mission, making technology simple and accessible for everyone. Casio's journey from a small post-war startup to a global technology giant is nothing short of remarkable. And it all started with a simple dream: to make calculations easier for everyone. It's a legacy of logic, a symbol of precision, and for millions, a quiet partner in solving the world's problems, one equation at a time. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Casio's history, don't forget to like and subscribe.